What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bears show. After a Bears victory, I'm pumped up for tonight's show. I hope you are. Before we go ahead and jump into it and get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you like tonight's show. Make sure you like every show that we go ahead and produce for you guys on the Tape Never Lies. Make sure you become a patron at www.thetapeneverlies.network. And honestly, I don't know why you haven't already. If you're watching this show, if you've been watching, the Tape Never Lies for a while, it's the best $7 you can invest in, best Bears content on the planet. All right, guys, I am pretty fired up about tonight's show, as you can tell. I was looking for a Bears victory, a close Bears victory, but that was quite honestly a dominant defensive performance in the second half for the Chicago Bears, and I loved it. I was there for it. I was all about it. I spoke about on the pregame show. If you guys checked it out, I needed the Bears to have revenge in their hearts. I needed them to have this game marked on their calendars and be ready to go. With all the flaws that the Bears have had in the past with their history after the bye, I needed the Bears to change things. I needed them to right the tire, to straighten things out and to really dominate the Lions. And they did that in the second half. The first half, to start the game, I was very, very happy. We'll start there. We'll start at the beginning. How's that? That sounds like a good idea. First drive of the game, very impressed with Justin Fields' ability to make things happen. Obviously, we've seen that last year. We were struggling to see that early in the season, but then he's picked it up. He didn't go over 100 yards, but when he was deciding to take off, it was chunks. It was huge chunks. It was big first downs. It was pivotal plays in the game when he was able to extend the play, extend the drive, and keep the Bears offense on the football field. I was very happy to see that. Passing wise, yeah, there might have been a few passes high to Mooney. There might a few things that he may have missed, but overall, I thought Justin's decision making was solid. I thought Justin was able to showcase his arm strength, showcase his accuracy, and his ability to read the situation and deliver a strike. So for me, I was happy with Justin Fields. Obviously, I would like more out of him. It is what it is. You're taking the mantle of NFL quarterback in Chicago. There's going to be some criticism, right? There's going to be some criticism, but you cannot downplay what Justin Fields was able to do on Sunday against the Lions. And we all know he dominates the Lions, but these are NFL football players. They do come out and they do get paid every Sunday to do what they have to do. And Justin does the same thing, and he just does it a little bit better sometimes than these guys on defense. So for me, I was very impressed with Justin Fields' ability to hold on to the football, his ability to deliver strikes down the field, and at the end of the game, be poised enough to control the situation. So but going back to that first drive, there's a couple things that really pissed me off, and I'm going to start with the refs, right? First play of the game, Justin rolls out to his left, slides down, sees Jack Campbell coming, slides down, 1 yard gain. Jack Campbell just pursues to blow Justin Fields up on the ground as he's sliding. When the fuck are the referees in the league going to make it a point to call it a fair game when it comes to Justin Fields and more athletic quarterbacks, right? If Justin's sliding down and the guy continues his motion to drive him into the ground, that is a textbook personal foul. What would it be? Roughing the quarterback, or it would just be a unnecessary roughness call, I believe. But it's still a 15-yard fucking penalty in my book. Now, I don't know what they're being taught in referee school. I don't know how they officiate certain players over, over other players, the more athletic to the non-athletic. I don't know how, if there's a difference, but there's clearly a certain way they're officiating Justin Fields. And you may say, "Oh, it's because he's a running quarter." Yeah, I understand that, but even a running quarterback that slides on the ground, his ass is on the ground, doesn't deserve to get fucking blown up by a linebacker, on the opposing team. It's just it is what it is. Let's be real. I know he's fucking athletic. I know he tried to run over a cornerback. I believe earlier this year. But if he's giving himself up on the play, there's no fucking need for a linebacker to come over and blow him up unless you're trying to take him out of the fucking game. So I don't know what they're seeing out there. I don't know how they're like I said, I don't know what they're taught in officiating school, but that shit is garbage. And then if you look a little ahead, I think I lost my spot here. But anyway, if you look a little ahead, a few plays later, Justin has another big run. I believe it was 13 yards. He slides down, and the cornerback, who, yeah, you could say he was trying to give himself up on the play, but you had enough time to plant yourself and try to jump over him when you could have just moved out of the way or just turned to the right and skipped over him. And right, you tried to jump over him as he's sliding, and you see his height, like you see where he's at, and you jump into him. I even thought that should have been a penalty. Like, you're not respecting the quarterback giving himself up on the play. There needs to be something done. Now, that's my rant about that. That was just a shit sequence of plays where I thought they allowed Justin to be vulnerable to personal fouls. They allowed Justin to take on extra cheap shots where he didn't have to. He didn't have to. So we have to see what's going on with with this officiating moving forward with Justin Fields. Let me go ahead and get to some of these comments. Roland, what's up? What's up, brother? Sean, 2-game winning streak, playoffs, here we come. Well, you know what? We'll talk about the playoffs in a minute. We'll see. One week at a time. 1 week at a time. And it's not. I don't believe it's going to be fully up to the Bears for that to happen. They don't really control their own destiny here, unless they do win out. But I think they have a couple of issues with as far as the schedules or these standings are concerned. What up, Jay? Corn Planter. It's nice for all 4-8 teams, or it's nice for all 4-8 teams won this weekend. So Bears retain the 5th pick. Yeah, I'm wanting the Bears to fucking win, man. I really do. I don't, like I mentioned before, I don't care for this head coach. I care for the team. I care for a lot of these players because I feel like they're performing well. But there's just certain things that irk me about the decision making of Matt Eberflus and especially Luke Getsy on offense. Now Eberflus, the defense is flying around, right? It's flying around. I'm going to go ahead and credit that to Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat is the defensive MVP, in my opinion, if this continues. And I know he got here trade deadline. He hasn't been a part of the team very long, but this team is transformed with him on it. The pass rush is there. You're throwing quarterbacks off their mark. You're moving the pocket on your own. You're dictating where he can plant and where he can't plant. Forcing quarterbacks out of the pocket. It was very fun to watch. The second half, the first half, some of the first half, but definitely the second half of that game on defense for the Chicago Bears. Now with Justin, with Justin, he was able to take what the defense was giving him, right? As far as field position and turnovers are concerned. There was a situation in the third drive, right, and this isn't going to go on Justin Fields. This is actually going to be a knock to Luke Getsy. 4th and 1, you just came off of an interception, right? Just came off of an interception. You're in Lions territory. You decide to go for it, and I'm all about it, right? I'm all about going for it in that situation. Perfect. You're in their territory. It's early in the, it's early in the in the game. You could overcome a mistake, but you went ahead and once again took the ball out of your best player's hands. You took the ball out of your best playmaker's hands in Justin Fields. Why? Why did we get too cute? Why did we decide to pitch it? And I know you were trying to get DJ more and more involved in the run game for some reason. I don't know. Although I love that the first drive touchdown was well executed. I'll say that, well blocked. Roschon Johnson definitely was able to impress me with blocking of Hutchinson. I mean, it's what was he, a 5th round running back, a 4th round running back, wherever he was taken, able to block the number 2 pick. That was impressive to me. It was a good run, but in this situation, I'd mentioned before in the pregame, I want to run the fucking ball down their throat. You have to make it a point against a team like the Detroit Lions, who are leading in your division, that they're not in control here. That things are going to change. And I thought that was a perfect opportunity to put boot to throat and get it and move forward and get the ball going and give them an opportunity to score another touchdown. I thought that was the dumbest play of the game. And looking back, if the Bears didn't have the second half they did, it could have costed them, because then the Lions came back in the second quarter, right? They were able to muster up 13 points going into the half. And I was like, here we go again. Why are we losing this football game, Chicago? Like, we had control, 10-0, and just do silly mistakes, Silly mistakes. Unable to score on offense, unable to move the ball on offense. Defense was giving up some chunks, but the defense, like I said, if you can't stay on the football field, and here I'll go ahead and tell you how many where we were on the second quarter. Second quarter, here's the second quarter drives, right? Turnover on downs, punt, end of half, for a grand total of 13 plays. The Lions, after the interception, there was an 8-play drive on the interception. With their 3 drives, 8, 11, and 12. So you had 31 drives or 31 plays compared to your few plays that you had in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It was rough to watch that second quarter. It really was. I didn't know where we were going. I thought we were reverting back after the first drive. And, we talked about that first 15 being amazing. And then all of a sudden, Luke Getsy can't seem to get out of his own way, or he doesn't know his own way. And he continues to, fumble around in the dark with how he's going to approach his offense. Raymond, what's up, brother? Happy Tuesday, TTNL family. What's up, my brother Ivan? Let's go and bear down always, brother. Yeah, I was very happy with how they responded. And, like I mentioned before, it made me very nervous in that second quarter that this team, once again, just wasn't prepared coming out of the bye. But lo and behold, the defense stepped it up. Montez Sweat is, like I mentioned before, is the defensive MVP. The pressure's, the 4-man pressure is there with him. You could see his athleticism just to dictate where people are going. If the quarterback's going to go here or not. If you're going to keep him in the pocket or not. Even in the running game, you see he's definitely a contributor. So it's not like he's a one-dimensional dude. This guy's been fucking everywhere for us, guys. He's been everywhere for us. And I understand you're like defensive MVP, Ivan. You might be, a little biting, taking a little bit too much on your plate. But for me, I think that that's exactly what he is and what he's been for us since he's gotten here in a short period of time. Nonetheless, like the Bears defense as a whole has stepped up, 11 turnovers in what is it, 3 games? I believe I got it written down here somewhere. 11 turnovers in 3 games. You saw other guys contribute as well. Justin Jones with a sack and a half. You had Jaquan Brisker. I can't believe I left him out of this when I'm not going to leave him out of this. Jaquan Brisker, 17 tackles. You want to call them combined tackles or whatever. He was involved in everything. He was fucking everywhere. And I gave him shit, and I still kind of give him shit for his coverage. But as far as, being an active contributor, in the run game, in active in tackling and physical, when he's healthy, he's very physical. I've never said he wasn't physical. My only complaints about him have been in coverage, but yesterday he just was flying around. I hope he's 100%. This means he's 100% healthy. But yeah, how can you deny the performance that he had on Sunday? Like I asked for, I hope these guys were out for revenge. I hope that these guys were looking forward to taking on the task of redeeming their name, because let's be real, that was embarrassing the first go around. And it was even more embarrassing because it happened to you prior in the season against the Denver Broncos. And now if you look where the Denver Broncos are and look where you are, I think the Bears are improving, especially on defense. I still have very, very, very strong questions about the offense and how they see momentum, right? How they feel like in certain situations, their personnel and how they decide who's going to be out there and what plays they decide on. Like, let's say, for instance, 4th and 1, goal line situations, fourth or third and about 5, 3rd and long. Like, there's still things that I really sincerely question about the decision making of Luke Getsy, but there is some improvement, especially with Justin Fields. I feel like Justin can take another step in these next couple games. It's all about him keeping confidence. It's all about them giving him the opportunity. And I know they're going to use him, his athleticism in the run game. But by God, if you're in a situation where you're driving the football, it's a statement game. It very much is a statement game for you. It's a very important game. We had one of the fans on here. Someone in the chat jumped in a few weeks ago and mentioned their Bears are going to go on a 5-game winning streak. Now, like I said then and I said now, hey, miracles happen. I think the Bears could win this week, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But if the Bears were able to pull this off, right, they're able to beat a Cleveland team whose offense has struggled, somehow overcome a top defense, right? Now we can really begin that conversation. I know everybody wants to go ahead and get ahead of the curve, but for me, I'm looking at this Cleveland game as the real marker. Like you knew the Bears are going to come out with some type of chip on their shoulder. They're at home. Now I want to see them, and Justin in particular, overcome the ghost of Cleveland, right? Because with Justin, we all point to that game like, look, it was one of the worst things we've ever seen done to a rookie quarterback or rookie in general, just anybody, but especially at the position that he plays as a rookie. Terrible game for him. Terrible position he was put in and thrown to the dog pound, if you will. I want to see that same type of intensity and that same type of will that they had on Sunday going into Cleveland, the city by the lake. I'm I'm very confident in how the defense is going to respond to this offense. How is the offense going to respond to the number? I believe they're the number one defense in the league, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. Number one defense in the league. I wrote it down. Don't worry about it. I got you guys. Uh, and I know they have. I know they have a very strong run game. They do have a quarterback now in Joe Flacco, so we'll see Joe Flacco. But I have I have extreme confidence in this Bears defense to continue the trajectory that they've been going on. Uh, Montez Sweat, I feel like will have a large contribution this upcoming week. I feel like the secondary will continue to improve, although I'll stick by my guns and say Eddie Jackson is probably going to be gone this offseason, and they should look to upgrade at that position. Nonetheless, man, I feel very confident in what the Bears are going to do uh, this coming Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. Let's go ahead and jump into yesterday's interview with Matt Eberflus. We got Jackal coming up around here soon. He said that he will be joining us, so he'll be contributing as well. He's putting the kiddos to bed, so I'm sure he's reading them Samuel L. Jackson's "Go the Fuck to Sleep." I'm sure that's something that he told me he bought them uh, early in their childhood, and I'm sure he's reading it to him right now. But anyway, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Let's go ahead and jump into this interview with Matt Eberflus.
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody again. So just some things from yesterday. Credit the fans again. I want to thank those guys again. And a little talk about Ken Marock in the field. Ken Marock's our ground screw guy and does an excellent job with taking care of our fields here at Hallis, but also at Soldier Field. And that thing was in great shape. It's that hybrid Bermuda grass that we talked about. We all talked about when we first got here of changing that out and making that a better surface, a faster surface. And certainly credit Ken Marock and his crew for that. But again, so I had the team meeting today with the players. We talked about our goals that we wanted to accomplish for that game, and obviously played some really good complementary football. Had some momentum shifts a little bit, in the first half, and I thought our guys fought through that really well. And I credit the players for that, and the coaches to be able to work through that. And obviously, made some really nice plays in situational football as well on third down and fourth down. Obviously, the takeaway margin was in our favor. That's always a big part of winning, and winning the fourth quarter. And those are the two main goals that we want to accomplish every single week. And we did that yesterday, and credit to the coaches and the staff and the players for that. We obviously have a 24-hour rule, so we're approaching that pretty soon here. And the guys are understanding of that. I told them to get their mind, body, and spirit correct and right for Wednesday when we get back to work. Take a look at Cleveland coming up, this in, your day off and as they do community service. And they'll do that and check out their opponent. And that's important. Continue momentum, of the last month, 3-1 in the last month. And, guys can feel that. And it's really a credit to them in terms of their practice habits and what they've been doing all along with their positive attitude and them being close and having that tight knit group in the locker room. So with that, have an injury update. Really not much today. Ngakwe had an ankle. You guys saw that. And we'll know more on Wednesday. That's all I have for you on that. And then St. Brown is a week to week as we go there. And again, we're obviously facing a big, tough opponent this week. And Cleveland had a big victory yesterday, and it's going to be a big challenge for our group. So with that, open up to questions.
On your guys' field goal drive in the first half, you had the 13-yard sack that ended it, where it looked like two offensive linemen in a back row kind of blocking up the middle. You guys kicked the field goal to go 10-0. The 13-yard sack Justin took to end the drive. What was your diagnosis of what went wrong on the offensive line on that sack?
Yeah, it's just about being clean in your protections. And it's about a lot of times it's winning your one-on-ones. You got to be able to do that, and that's about technique. It's about we talked about last week from fundamentals. From the floor, from the ground, all the way up. And we just got to do a better job on that one.
It sounds like they just got beat on the play, or they got beat or the communication was off. So
there was a play toward the beginning of that drive. It's 3rd and 8. think shadow your own goalpost. When Fields kind of pinballs around inside the pocket and slips out the right side and runs for 19 yards, gets you the first down. His ability to maneuver in tight spaces, what impresses you the most about that?
Well, the sustaining of the blocks, for the offensive line and the backs, I believe that's the one you were talking about. And, so that's the finished part of that helps him to be able to do that. So to avoid the sack. But he's done a really good job as of late of looking down the field to be able to deliver some passes down the field, which is cool. But the next dimension is what you're talking about is the ability to escape. He's so strong and he's got strong lowers and he's very he's got great
Strong
contact
lowers.
balance, as we say. Like I say a lot of times with DJ, he has that as well, and he has the ability to put it on guys, for 19 yards or as you saw last year, even more than that. So
What's
we're
up,
excited
Bears?
about where he is with that in terms of the first phase of that, looking downfield to complete the passes, and then the second phase when it's not there on situational ball to be able to make it happen.
After watching the tape of the game, what impressed you most about Jaquan Brisker and his 17 tackles?
Yeah, they said 18, but that's fine. That's what the coach said, but we'll see. I'll have to count them. I didn't actually count them up myself, but really good.
So you don't
He
know.
was beating guys to the punch. I love his aggressiveness. If he was dropping in, from the higher part of the field, to be a in single high or just coming down from a shell, whatever shell coverage we're playing, and being able to react to the run that way too. So did a really good job with that. His instincts and his passion really showed up. And that's who he is. And he's an aggressive guy, and he does a really good job, at tackling, and his instincts are elite. So he does a really good job with that.
When you see him trying to get the crowd going,
Uh-huh.
almost every third down, I guess. Is that something that your team needs? Do you always need kind of one guy to try and bring some of the juice like that? And what
Yeah.
kind of his personality makes him?
Yeah, no doubt. He does bring that, and he's passionate, and it's always exciting to watch him do that. And he's always right next to me at we would do the national anthem, so we always lock arms, so I can feel his energy right there. So he's a special guy.
Did you tell him you had 21 in a game once?
21.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said he's got some work to do.
I was listening to an interview with Jaquan Brisker earlier today, and Jaquan was talking about how Eberflus is in the locker room. And I wanted to address that because, one of the talking points we're going to be having for the next month and into the offseason is whether we're going to keep this man as our head coach or not. And, one of the big critiques is he needs to start, he doesn't show enough passion, doesn't show enough intensity. Well, I think he's doing that behind the scenes because Jaquan was, enlightening the audience on how he is behind the scenes and in film and in meetings and stuff like that at practice, talking to his players. So I think he's, like I said, we're never going to see him in public sway from that. But if he's in, giving, like I said, if there is some accountability there in the locker room, on this team, then you can only listen to what you're getting from the players. I don't think the players are going to sit here and bullshit you if the coach isn't helping them or being or is a certain way. If he's a scumbag coach, I feel like they're going to pretty much tell you he's a scumbag coach. But I just don't think he's that type of guy to let his emotions show out in public. And it is what it is, but there is some type of intensity to the man according to his players. Let's continue.
I have a question you're actually going to like about the Tez factor. The uptick in your defense, the defensive improvement coincides with him arriving. Is it just Montez Sweat? Is it just that if you guys had a pass rusher like that from the start, it would have looked like this all along?
I mean, Tez has just, been fantastic, with his approach since he's been here. And he's got great energy. He's a great teammate. And, to answer your question, I would say, it's always great. It's an uptick because of the great pass rusher. And that's what he is, so they have to lean more attention to him. You saw yesterday, they were chipping him several times, which gives singles to other guys. The fact that the last sack that Double J had, he was a pick by Tez, and Jay comes around and has a nice sack on the last one there, which is great. That's a tribute to him. He's going to pick for his teammate, when he was going to get that, chip on that last one. So he's been a consummate pro. And to answer your question, yes, he definitely helps others, and it's been an uptick in a lot of ways for the turnovers. Enabled us to play more coverage, not pressure as much on those situational downs and get home with 4. And that's been a big part of it.
Did
As
you
you
see
said,
it as you explored that trade, as you looked at him as a possibility to bring aboard? Obviously, you looked at how it would help you guys, but did you see maybe untapped potential in him? He's 26, I think. Did you see somebody that you thought we can actually make this guy better than what he's been?
Yeah, we do see that, and I think that's the standards of how we operate. When you get a standard, and you bring a guy in that has that talent, and he plays to that high standard, there's going to be more production. There's going to be more intensity, and it's going to spread throughout the whole group. And that's what we're starting to see. So you play out your practice, and he's been practicing his butt off and hustling in practice, and his stamina is increasing, and he's doing a really good job with that part of it.
I have
3-1 in the last.
real quick. I have not, but are you talking about the interview from the locker room, Irish? Because we could easily play that right after this.
Month is, how have you noticed the attitude, building, and the mentality and the mindset change with that?
Yeah, you can just feel confidence. The guys have always been confident in their approach, and confident in their abilities. But you can see the feeling of confidence when you actually see it, the progress, when you see it in the result. And you can certainly feel that with the players, and the staff. The guys are, upbeat, and they're always been that way. But you can certainly feel the confidence growing as we start stacking these wins.
Man, you talked about yesterday, but Jaquan, how you've seen him reflect the guy that you guys scouted, a guy who loves football, really fits what you wanted. Over your time with him, and what has he shown you to really kind of confirm that and make you truly believe this is like a building block for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, just the way he goes about his business every single day. He comes in, he's always texting me when I'm putting the game plan in, and put a couple pressures in for me, and he's always constantly on me about that. So make sure I'm part of the game plan. But he is a ball of energy, as is Kyler and all the rest of the guys. Jalen, our defensive line, the linebackers, they're all that same way. They're great energy, and they bring it in practice, and that's the most important thing.
TJ Edwards was talking to us last week about how he prides himself in always being around the ball, and he didn't have as many tackles yesterday, but he had another big play with the fumble recovery. Just what have you seen from him in terms of being able to always, make those big?
Yeah, he's been outstanding since he's been here.
TJ Edwards, and I know people are still, critical about the Roquan Smith trade. But TJ Edwards, you have to admit, he has been everything that you'd want and more from a linebacker, from one of your interior linebackers. And I have no real bad, except for maybe a few times where I've seen arm tackles, but I really have no bad critiques on a guy like TJ Edwards. He does his job. He's top of the league in tackles. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there. It's been a very, very pleasant surprise having a linebacker replace a guy like Roquan Smith, but you get a guy like TJ Edwards, and you pretty much, I feel like we haven't missed a step. I feel like we even possibly have gotten better as a team. Obviously, not possibly. Quite honestly, we have gotten better as a team because of the money that we're not paying for one man in Roquan Smith. And we were able to go ahead and spread it out on defense and get a couple more people. And I'm happy about it. Ryan Poles was able to find this guy. He played well for an Eagles team last year. He's obviously playing well for his hometown team, a team he rooted for, in his youth. You gotta be very happy with the production of TJ Edwards this season.
the first thing that you recognize with him is you watch his tape, when, he's in Philly or even when, since he's been here, is the instincts. He's got great instincts for the football, and that's what you got to have as a linebacker. You got to have that. And he's able to key and diagnose and beat guys to the punch quickly. And you see that week in and week out. And, he's not a guy that runs 4.3. He doesn't do that. He's not super long, but he makes up with instincts. He's a football player. And that's what you want in that position. So he's been great that way. He's led our group all the way through, and he's a big centerpiece to our defense for sure.
Man, I don't know how much you've looked at the Browns defense. At times they've looked like the best defense in the league, but they've given up a lot of points lately. I'm just curious about the challenge, like for your offense. This seems like a big challenge, but also a big opportunity for your offense where it is right now.
Yeah, it is every week, right? You're facing another good defense, and this is no different. They play the similar style to what we play. They're a 4-down group, and they mix their coverages, and obviously they got a great pass rusher, and they got a lot of guys that play with great energy, and it's going to be a big challenge for our offense for sure.
Because they're so good at times, but also kind of vulnerable. Is there a trick to attacking? Is that a particular X and O matchup thing? I mean, is there? What's the key?
Yeah, it could potentially be. I haven't watched a bunch of tape on it yet. I'll get after it later today, but certainly that could be the key.
Matt, Justin took several of those hits as he's sliding down kind of late where he doesn't get the whistle. I know this is something we've talked about many times before. What's your process like in terms of reporting that to the league or filing that to the league?
Good
And
question.
how active are you in petitioning kind of during these games, telling the refs be on the lookout for that?
Yeah, I'm very active on that. I'm always in their ear about that because protecting the quarterbacks in this league is big, right? Those guys are the league. So it's important that we do that and we continue to do that. If you have a guy that's a runner, and he slides down like that, we got to protect him. And I wasn't happy about that first one, and I let him know about it, and I was like, it's just not the right thing to do. So we just got to make sure we take care of our quarterbacks.
You let them know about the first one, and they said "fuck you" with the second one. A few plays earlier, but just make sure you're in these motherfuckers' ears about it. I would like to see the camera shoot over to you at least one time on the sideline. I know you don't like to go ahead and get emotional. Like I just talked about this, but at least one time when it's blatant, like what Jack Campbell did, that motherfucker, to Justin Fields, that first play. Like that was blatant. And nobody said, like, you have to be able to at least stick your neck out for your quarterback, right? You have to be a little bit more animated in that situation, in my opinion.
Any other hits in that game that you were concerned about or thought were across the line on Fields?
On him?
Yeah, specifically hits on Fields.
I don't think so. The first game for sure, but not this one.
There was the first Detroit game.
Yeah,
there were a bunch, and then yesterday you're talking about.
That was probably the only one that I see. Maybe there was maybe one more when he pulled it, and it was we'll see how that goes. We'll turn those in.
You mentioned takeaways briefly, and you guys have 11 in the last 3 games. Everybody always says they come in bunches. Why do you think that is, and what kind of explains the fact that you've gotten 11 in 3 games?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with come in bunches. I believe it comes from hard work and your attention to detail with it. So I believe that what you do in practice is what you're going to do in the game. And the guys have been doing a great job in practice.
Oh, that's
why
big
you're starting
clip.
to see it in the game, and really we need to do a great
Come in
job
bunches,
causing
coach, huh?
the fumbles. That number's still not where it should be, and we got to keep hustling so we can recover those.
All right. You lost me at come in bunches, and I just the child in me kicked in. Here, let's go ahead and bring in the Montez Sweat interview before I go ahead and lose my shit here. Here we go. Montez Sweat. Let's bring that up. Here we go. Oh, is there no?
Just waiting on the season to end, kind of. But here it's like, what I'm saying? It was kind of like just waiting on the season to end, kind of. But here it's like every week, it's a new challenge, and people want to play for the man beside them. Man. That's what I'm here for.
Does Eberflus have something to do with kind of setting that tone?
Sorry?
Does Coach Eberflus have something to do with kind of setting that tone every week too?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Flus is a great coach, bro. He keeps us motivated. I never seen a head coach run the team and call defensive plays, so that's new for me. But a lot of respect for him as a coach.
Along the same line, clearly flashed a lot more the past couple of weeks. How much, I guess, faster are you playing now that you got more company?
Yeah, I mean, I'm noticing what my teammates like to do beside me. I'm getting more familiar with the calls and situations and stuff like that. So, yeah, it allows me to play a little bit more fast.
Does it feel like this group is building something and can do something down the stretch?
We're gonna see, man. It's any given Sunday. Of course, you see we got off to a slow start, man. But I like the direction that we're heading in. So it's the NFL, man. It's games is won. I mean, the season is won in December.
How important is it for you to get to double-digit sacks, which you are?
Man, that was a goal that I've had ever since I got in the league. So it's definitely a good day for me, and I thank God for that.
How would you describe this?
I try my best, Grumpy.
You taking all the questions, man.
We're
Go ahead, man. Go
we're
ahead.
teammates too. Go ahead, Mark. Potsy, go ahead.
Last time at Ford Field, you did that finish. This time you did. Is it even, what was the difference?
I mean, we choked them out. We strained. The offense got us some first downs, and the pass rush got home, and the back end was covering up. So, Maine finished with a pick. We finished with a couple sacks, man. That's poetry.
Were you aware, like in the fourth quarter, that it was such a similar situation in Detroit?
For sure.
Did you feel like
I
it
mean,
was a moment to prove yourself.
Yeah, you definitely get that feeling where we up 2 scores, and we was just like, we kind of getting a little happy. We like, hold on, you know what I'm saying, back up, because we just got humbled like 3 weeks ago. So we wanted to finish on a good note this time.
What do you think of your quarterback's play today? He kind of was doing a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's every week. Justin does a good job of being mobile in the pocket and getting out when he needs.
Jackal is still dealing with the children, so he will join us in just a second. I could see his point, man. Like, you hear it from the players, you start to believe it. The team is playing better, especially on defense. It's this offense that frustrates me, and I see a lot of guys in the chat saying, fire Getsy. Getsy needs to go. And I believe that one of them has to go. One or all. It's either you fire the offensive coordinator, you keep the head coach, and you move forward, or they all got to go. It's one or the other. So if your performance on defense continues this way, let's say 11 in 3 games becomes 14 in 4, right? Let's say that it becomes 16 in 5. Let's say you just generate turnovers for the next 4 weeks of the season. You generate multiple turnovers and your defense is flying. I know that these offenses aren't world beaters, but your defense continues to grow. I don't see how they will be able to, how the Chicago Bears would be able to justify firing the head coach who's taken over the defense, turn it into something that looks really, really good and is performing every week and is shutting out offenses that are top in the league, top receivers in the league, able to beat up on the offensive line that was talked about as one of the best in the league. I don't know how you could justify it. Do I want a guy like Jim Harbaugh? Absolutely. But if this team wins and shocks the fucking world and makes the playoffs, what are you gonna say? What can you say? It'll be the same situation as with Matt Nagy and sneaking in, or backing into the playoffs against the Saints. It'll be that same situation all over again. Second year system for Getsy right now. Justin's second year of it. First year with a legit receiver, but still growing O-line. I mean, that could be the issue, but Luke Getsy needs to overcome his growing pains as well, because this shit doesn't fly. Getting too cute on 4th and 1, like I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, getting too cute on 4th and 1 when you have a guy like Deontay Foreman, you got a fullback like Blasingame, You got another running back like Roshan Johnson who could run pretty hard. Your offensive line, your interior has been moving guys as of late. Why not go ahead and give them the opportunity? Or, like I said before, keep the ball in your quarterback's hands because he's your best fucking playmaker. It just makes sense to do that. It makes too much sense to do that. But sometimes we get too cute. And I know DJ Moore's a playmaker. But in that situation, I thought the Detroit Lions knew exactly what was coming. 1 yard, tush push it, or fucking, 2-back set and run it with one of your running backs, preferably a Deontay Foreman. That's why I question very much so on how they're going to approach this offseason as far as offense is concerned because of Luke Getsy's playmaking. And yeah, he might be in his second year, but these are things that need to change, and they haven't changed. We've seen this week in and week out. Bears have momentum. They get a turnover. Yeah, it's a big situation, a third and long or a third and medium, a 4th and 1, a 4th and fucking 3. And they decide to go ahead, and there was a play when we had Cordero Patterson. I believe we were playing. Oh God, how can I forget this? It might have been Atlanta, but there was a 4th and 1, and these fucking idiots decided to go and give it to Cordero Patterson on the out, on a jet sweep to the left side. And it just reminded me of that same type of play. I know it was DJ Moore, and it wasn't Matt Nagy and them, but it just reminded me of that. Like, why in the world, when you got a guy like a David Montgomery, or you got a guy like a Deontay Foreman, are you going to, or Justin Fields, are you going to take the ball out of their hands and say, hey, let's do this? I know it's a playmaker in DJ Moore, but let's not go directly right at them and establish your fucking dominance and who's going to dictate this game at the point of attack and throughout. I just that to me is very soft. It's a very soft way of going about things. 4th and 1, it's demoralizing when you're able to just move motherfucking bodies out of the way and pick up that 4th and 1 because you want to. It defeats mentally a defense. It defeats guys who aren't as mentally tough on defense or who are just having a bad game or whatever. It will defeat them if they're frustrated. It's like body blows, right? Those are fucking body blows, and you need to be able to connect. Jackal is still in the background, but he is doing a fantastic job bringing up some of these comments. When the OC's decision has Hall of Fame players on natural broadcast scratching their heads, he's the problem. I could agree. I can agree with that. There's a lot of questions, especially when the Bears have momentum, about how Luke Getsy goes about deciding his play calls. If we keep Flus, we'll probably keep Justin Fields. Fire Getsy, hire Greg Roman, get an OC who will make it about the player, not the other way around. Raymond, that's music to my ears. Music to my ears. I've heard Greg Roman a lot, in talks. I've heard, there's a lot of Ben Johnson with the Lions and so on and so forth. But whoever comes in here, they like you said, they need to make it a point of emphasis. It's get Justin right, or we need to go ahead and scrap this whole fucking thing. Right? It's either you're going to cater to this guy or whoever's behind the center, or we're going to have to go ahead and either say no to you, or we're going to have to move on from one of the two. But for me, I feel like Justin Fields deserves one more. I don't know how I feel about Luke Getsy. I still, like I said, there's big questions about Getsy. There's still questions about there was that touchdown to DJ Moore just played right by. It was actually a beautiful strike from Justin Fields. But there's still questions about Flus and some of his decision making, or some of the things that he doesn't do right as far as addressing certain situations. Justin has his flaws as well, but I feel like Justin is on the cusp of something. He's looking more confident. He doesn't look like so scatterbrained in the pocket. There's been multiple times where he stepped up in the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, saw nothing but grass, and took off. And there's been plenty of times where he's done the same thing, kept his eyes downfield, and extended the play enough to deliver a strike to a guy in the flat, deliver a strike to DJ Moore coming back to him. I am a huge Justin supporter. Like I said, I will be critical when he's made mistakes, and I have been on here, and nobody could say I haven't. But I feel like he needs at least one more opportunity to go out there and show us why he needs to be extended and be the Bears quarterback. I would pick up the 5th-year option. I would go forward in the draft with trading the first-round pick, or some way, somehow figuring out how to get Marvin Harrison Jr. in the building. I guess same. And really build around Justin Fields and build up the rest of the team, because that first round pick with the quarterbacks that are available, you know, the illusion of talent, I guess, is there, right? Like that they are talent. I won't say that there is no talent there. I should just chose my words better. But the idea that these guys are going to be the guy, like these guys, talent-wise, are, you know, above and beyond generational, that you're going to plug and play them in, and you're going to, you know, win football games immediately. That can be, and it can't be, right? I feel like taking a shot at collecting more assets is more important than just breaking shit down right now, especially with how things are going on defense and on offense, at least as far as the quarterback is concerned. And really, because like if you see the connection between him and Moore, they have like what's the rating that they have? 146.2. Like they're starting to generate more of a connection. So getting rid of a guy right now, early in it, he's only 24. He's not some old beaten down scrub, and he hasn't been terrible to the point where he's a liability. He hasn't. The team has, in a whole, has been, you know, what we thought it was, a rebuilding project, a team that is going to struggle, but going to, you know, possibly surprise you here and there. Justin, in my eyes, deserves one more year. I think this team is definitely starting to show signs of life. Now, whether they go back to Coach Dre real quick, Jackal. Do you believe he's fixable? Who's that, Coach Dre? I'm sorry. Was I talking about Justin? I think Justin is very fixable. I don't think it's anything that needs to be like torn down. I think it's about regaining confidence in being in the pocket, regaining confidence in the guys around him, right? As far as his line is concerned, as far as the playmakers that he has. And that falls at the plate of Ryan Poles. Now, there's a lot of talk about drafting offensive tackle, a lot of questions about Braxton Jones. Is that a route they could go? Well, that would definitely be a route that they could go. And they could go and add even more if they trade that first round pick. So, like, you know, there's a lot of things the Bears could do. There's a lot of opportunity for them in this draft. But you won't have as much opportunity if you go ahead and you say, we're going to tear it down completely, or not completely. We're going to go ahead and scrap the coaching staff, plug in a new coaching staff. I feel like that's going to obviously mess with the players, because you hear how the players, You just heard about Montez Sweat, a new addition, spoke about Eberflus and how this team is growing. So do you want to destroy something that's growing, something that is starting to pick up, or do you want to continue to build and feed it and see where it goes? I would love to have a guy like Jim Harbaugh, but if the Bears go ahead and run this fucking table, especially in that last game, and they beat Green Bay and they make the playoffs, I don't think there's any fucking way they would be able to fire this man, period. Period. And like I said, I'd love the story. I would love to see Jim Harbaugh, former player, coming back, leading us. It sounds a lot like Ditka, right? It sounds a lot like Ditka. I fully admit, I love it. I am all for it. I will meatball it up if this is the case still. But the Bears somehow figure out a way to beat these teams, and there is an opportunity, although they're going to have to play well. They're not going to be able to make mistakes and be able to come to the podium and say, oh, well, we're going to be better. We have a lot of time. You don't have a lot of time. And I think everybody knows that they're playing for a lot. I wouldn't say their jobs right now because I just don't know with how this front office has spoken about, especially the head coach. But in my opinion, they should be playing for their jobs. A lot of these guys. Let's go ahead and jump into Justin Fields' interview after the victory on Sunday.
See much come off, just kind of how wide your eyes got and what you know.
Yeah, I mean, basically we're just lined up in a formation, and we try to just get them to jump off sides. So just 1-on-1, then did a dummy protection adjustment to make it feel like a real play, and of course the second one, we got somebody to jump, and then at that point you want to convert because I think it was 4th and 12 you said, so that's only a 5-yard penalty. So did a great job of front protecting. I think Ted did a great job selling it and stuff like that. DJ ran off the ball hard, and we practiced that, each and every week. So it was great execution by everyone.
What's the key to selling that without being over dramatic and overselling it to where they don't believe it?
Just treat it like the same play, like just treat it like a normal play, and most teams are knowing that's gonna come. So just treating it like a normal play.
What's the challenge to take advantage of it? I understand how you guys got it, but to be ready to run a real play at a time when you're not expecting there to be one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a challenge because we practice it, multiple times a week. So, we're used to it. Might happen like 3 times this past week during practice. So not during practice and walkthrough. So, like I said, we practice it. It happens every week, and the guys are ready for it, and we executed it. So it ended up being a big play.
What's the key to when you guys don't pick up the 3rd and the 4th down and all those kind of shifts to get back in the game? What's the key for y'all to kind of stay resilient and continue to regain control of that game, but maybe in the past kind of lost and other teams took control?
I mean, yeah, we know as a team that there are going to be ups and downs during the game, and we try to stay even keeled throughout the whole time. So I think the guys did that. I think personally we did leave a lot on the field. I think we could have been better in some areas, but at the end of the day, we got the dub, and that's all that matters. And like I said before, the team did a great job being down at halftime, coming out after halftime in the 3rd and 4th quarter, finish of the game, and just playing for each other. So yeah.
What's your point of view on the?
That's a huge point. That's exactly what I was talking about. He's starting to settle, right? He's not. Like you said, his eyes aren't dropping, looking to escape. His eyes are okay. I can step forward. There's my escape. Keep my eyes up. Look for the pass. It isn't fully polished, but it has been a lot more of the case that Justin Fields is looking up instead of looking down and panicking this year as opposed to next year, Coach Trey. That's an excellent point.
On the DJ fake end around.
So what?
The DJ run for a touchdown in the 1st quarter. What's your point of view in terms of?
Yeah, I mean,
what you see?
I was tired of that play. I'm so glad Luke called that play. But I mean, yeah, my job is just to fake the end around, and maybe they think we got a trick play or something coming up. But great blocking. I think DJ just walked in pretty much untouched. So great play calling, great blocking up front.
You ever had the seller run fake before?
Yeah, we did it a few times last year. I know we did it against Dallas, and then maybe another game. But yeah, we did it last year.
What was the conversation like when Luke installed that play? What did you like about the design, and kind of were you excited when that call came in?
I was excited because I was tired. That's the only reason I was excited. So I just do my job, fake the little handoff, and get a little breather, and then he scored. So that made it even better. But I mean, yeah. I just treat it like a regular play and just do my job. It could be a big play, it could be not. So my biggest thing is just going out on that play and doing your job. And everybody did their job and turned out successful. So, yeah.
Justin, you said you guys left some stuff on the field offensively. Cole said his exact line was that you guys could have put 40 on him.
Yeah.
What do you look at from your own game, a good game, and say, I can do more than this. I can do more in these areas?
So what do I look at?
Your game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just what I messed up on. So, there are a few throws I missed. That dagger to DJ, I'm still sick about that one late in the game. But, I mean, yeah, there were multiple plays during the game where we could have executed it better. I think third and short, the one to Moon, could have executed that better. It was a great play call. Got exactly what we thought we were going to get. And, I mean, yeah, but just the third downs and just the, throws downfield, of course, there were a couple back that I wanted back. But, end all, we won the game, and still room to get better. So that's just hope for the future.
What were the conversations like in the huddle, on the sideline, in the fourth quarter, as you guys are working on putting this game away?
You said what were the conversations like? Normal conversations, nothing crazy. Just focusing on finishing, everybody doing their job. So nothing spectacular, just out of the ordinary.
Justin, what is it about this defense? I mean, 4 times now you've just demolished them with the way that you run against Detroit. Is there something you're seeing the way that their ends are playing that's allowing you to be that effective?
I mean, yeah, they did a pretty good job today. I think most of my runs came on scrambles. So I think they did a pretty good job today of containing me in the run game and stuff like that. But when they do that, it's just my job to pull the ball, take the defensive end out of the play. And there was one play I remember where Deontay got like 6-7 yards. So anytime we can get 6-7 yards in a run play is great for us. So yeah.
Justin, this is the first hit 8 more times. How are you feeling, first of all, and then second of all, what kind of impact do you think it has on your team to see you get back up that day?
You said what?
You were sacked 3 times, hit 8 more times.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling, first of all, and then second of all, what kind of impact do you think seeing you get back up like that has on your team?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be good, body wise, but I think I could probably take some hits off by throwing the ball away or checking it down faster. So all of those sacks and pressures aren't on the O-line and stuff like that. So I just got to look at the film and see where I could have gotten the ball out faster, thrown the ball away, boom, 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 and just move on. But I mean, yeah, it's football. So you're gonna have games where you get sacked more than usual, and you're gonna have games where you don't get sacked at all. So yeah.
Do you think it's kind of an emotional lift for you to see just pop back up like that?
It might be, but I think we all just play for each other out there. Every drive we go out there and play for each other. So I think there are plenty of times where guys could have stepped out of the game. They might have not been feeling their best. I know some guys were banged up on offense, but we all played through it and played for each other, and that's what you want out of a teammate and from your coaches and your teammates. So,
what do you think a win like this can do for the next month of the season here in terms of you're riding your first win streak in almost 2 years? It feels like the team's playing better. How can you parlay this into a strong finish?
Keep everything the same. Don't get high, don't get too high, don't get too low, and just keep working, keep getting better each and every day. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of spots to improve. Like Cole said, we probably could have put up 40 if we wanted to, or if we of course we wanted to, but if we could have, executed better. But just going back and keeping that same mindset, working and just getting better each and every day.
On your touchdown scramble, at what point did you realize that running lane was there for you?
I mean, when I kind of stepped to the right a little bit, I really just saw green grass. I was looking, for DJ to throw because he was one-on-one in kind of the back corner. But then I kind of just looked down and saw, green grass right there. So it just ran.
What's your confidence level now after 2 wins for the first time? What's your confidence level going into the final stretch of the year with the offense and you personally?
The same, we've always had confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you have no shot. So, you know, like I think somebody asked me that in there, but I mean, yeah, we have confidence as, you know, individual players. As a team, we have confidence, and you know, we know who we are as a team, and we know what we can do as a team. So, like I said, it's just not getting too high or too low, not getting too cocky, and knowing that we have, you know, areas that we can improve in, and you know that we just have to go in tomorrow, keep getting better, and practice. Just keep, you know, focusing on the details and just the little stuff in the game. So.
The chemistry with you and Moon as high as always been. It seems like you guys have been a little bit off. He hasn't quite been when you go on the field. You haven't quite put it where he expected. The chemistry's a little bit off. I know you've been working with DJ and getting cold in the backs of the ball, but two of them don't seem like y'all quite as connected as y'all always have.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, there's always room to improve. There's some, you know, plays today where I might have missed them or we just didn't connect. But you know,
No, you
that's
definitely
always
missed
work
them.
after practice,
But
doing extra routes and stuff like that. You know, I've told y'all since I got here. Moon, one thing about Darnell Mooney, he's gonna put in the work to be successful. So you know, I'm not really worried about that at all. We're just gonna, you know, keep working and keep going at it. So.
Justin, not to put you in a situation where you just sound selfish. It just seems like the offense is much better when they're playing according to the streets. Has there been any discussion between you and the coaching staff about emphasizing this?
Emphasizing
just playing according to your strengths. Like I noticed, like offensively, we got to run a lot of RPOs, a lot of play actions. It seems like you're at your best, but it seems like when you're in the pocket, there's not a lot of movement. It seems like there's a lot of stagnant situations taking place.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Luke knows what I do best.
Does he?
Together for a couple of years now, so he knows what really everybody does best. So you know, I don't think I think we game plan in terms of, you know, our opponent, what we have to do, and you know, also you have to think of what everybody else does well on the offensive side of the ball. But you know, we call the plays that we need to call to win games, and it's pretty much that simple.
So you said you turned the corner on the touchdown run, and you saw just green grass. Usually it's not green. Usually it's like brown or yellow. Edge. Like for a December game like this, how much of a difference does the field condition make? Because from up top, it looks much better than it usually does.
Yeah, I mean, funny you say that because when I sat right on the field, I mean, I noticed how green it was. So, you know, whoever's keeping up with the field is definitely doing a great job of, you know, handling the grass and, you know, making sure it's good to go when we go out there. So.
Does it make a big difference?
No, it does. It definitely does. So I'm one of
No
the guys
shit.
that, you know, likes turf because you know what you're gonna get. You know, you know what turf's gonna get you. But I mean, the field was pretty good out there today. So.
Who said something along the lines of these last couple of weeks, especially these last 2 wins, are proof that it's working? What does that show you guys about kind of the buy-in, the momentum that you're carrying over from the Minnesota game, and what you can do to finish out the season?
Can you say that again, please?
To paraphrase something Flu said earlier, he's talking about the last couple of weeks, that like the wins are proof that it's working and showing you guys that in the locker room, that he might have said that in the locker room to you guys. What can you take from that to build on these final 4 games, whether you get more wins or whether, you know, whatever the record ends up being, what can you build on?
I mean, yeah. So he basically just shows us the formula of winning. So takeaways, explosive plays and stuff like that, third down conversion and stuff like that. So I think that those are the areas, you know, eventually to where you win games, winning the fourth quarter and finishing. So as long as we focus on those aspects, those situations, you know, we're more likely to win a game than lose a game. And you know, everybody's bought in the past 3 to 4 weeks, and you know, we're all coming together as a team. So I expect nothing but us to, you know, keep coming together, keep getting better, and you know, just keep working.
That was Justin Fields post game. Yeah, you know, he just talked about. Felt like the theme was togetherness. Obviously, everybody's on the same page, or you know, focus on the same goal, which is great. That's what you need. You need, you know, a group of people come together, focus on one goal, working together to obtain it. That's what a team is. So I'm happy that I could hear that from him. You know, the White Chocolate Thunder. One thing you could say about Justin is he remains accountable. That's 100% true. Like Justin as a leader, I don't doubt he's the leader of the locker room. He's the leader of the team. Moving forward, right, with these next couple games, we're going to need to see him take another step. It's going to be a big test against a number one defense in Cleveland. A revenge game for him. It should be on his mind. I know they don't want to, they kind of hold things to the chest a lot, but it should be on Justin's mind that he wants some revenge here against the Cleveland Browns for what happened to him, a couple years ago. So hopefully this offense is able to do that come Sunday. We'll get into predictions right now. I think Jackal's still dealing with the kiddos being up late. I agree with Corn Planner. Just toss him some NyQuil in a bottle, dude. It's okay. Nobody here is going to tell, all right? Nobody's going to snitch on you. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into, he's passed out on my lap. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I see you can't really move at this point. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into predictions and we can wrap things up. Sunday, Bears versus Browns. Bears looking for some payback a little bit. I'm looking for this to be a dogfight once again. I think every game from here on out is going to, maybe with the exception of that Cardinal game, but we'll get to that when it comes. I think this one's going to be a very, very tough fought game. I think the Bears defense is going to show you just how tough they can be. I think the Bears offense is going to do enough against a very tough defense to get the win, right? I could see a turnover flipping the field for the Bears. I could see them actually having multiple turnovers this game. The biggest thing is if they can control the offensive line, if they can control the run game of the Cleveland Browns, I think this game can really lean to the side of the Bears. But I'm going to call it as a closer game and not a blowout. I'm going to go ahead and say the Bears win this one 26-20. We'll say 26-22. 26-22 Bears. They pull off the victory against the Cleveland Browns, and they continue this win streak. Or actually, they really start a win streak. Because the win streak started at 2. I always thought the win streak started at 3. Is it just me, or is that a thing? I always thought a win streak was at 3. But anyway, I see the Bears continuing their winning ways against Cleveland. Joe Flacco is definitely going to put the ball either on the ground or turn the ball over with the pressure from the Chicago Bears. So let's see what happens here on Sunday. I'm hoping for the Bears to show us more improvement. More improvement is what I see. I like where they're going right now. Great win against the Detroit Lions. Let's see if they could do it again on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for me. I know Jackal's a little busy. I applaud him for coming in and dealing with the chat while dealing with his, the kids and everything like that. So shout out to Jackal. He's doing something. He can't be everywhere, but he could be in certain places. So in certain places at certain times, and I'm glad he's here. Anyway, let's wrap things up. I'm Ivan Vargas. Bears are going to continue these winning ways. Damon, what up? What up? What up? Go back and rewatch because we're going to get out of here right now. I'm Ivan Vargas. You've been watching another Bears show on the Tape Never Lies Network. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Tape Never Lies. Go to www.thetapeneverlies.com and become a patron today. Make sure tomorrow night you tune in. Matt Waldman, keeping it 100, should be a great show. It's always great to talk to Matt Waldman. And then on Thursday night, obviously you got Cars Keys dropping knowledge for you Bears fans, giving you the best in stats and analytics from Matthew Carsonson. All right, guys, that's it for me. We'll see you guys later. Bear down. Peace.